Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews. This is a big bottle, got the cork top. This is one that I bought from Lucan's Liquor out of Florida, and they shipped this up to me. This is Anchorage Brewing. This is their Galaxy White IPA, and they use a Brettanomyces yeast with this one. This is ale brewed with spices and fruit, fermented and aged in French oak wine tanks. That is 7% alcohol with 50 IBUs. That sounds delicious to me. I do like a nice glass of wine every now and then, and I have made wine in my previous adventures. I do have some still downstairs in the basement cellaring, but I prefer the craft beers over the wine. I basically brewed that for the other half. She likes drinking those occasionally, and I give them away as gifts to some of my friends here locally. I have some friends that are wine drinkers exclusively and don't drink a lot of beer, but wine sellers pretty well at 12%, which most of everything that I did several years ago came out at. So they are rather tasty. Change up if you want something different other than a beer. So we're not talking about wine, we're talking about beer here. So like I said, the availability on this is a Belgian style IPA, and they're calling it a white IPA. It says white IPA brewed with 100% Galaxy hops. So you use Galaxy hops exclusively. The bittering and the flavor and the aroma hops are all Galaxy. Kumquats, coriander, and peppercorns. Like I said, fermented in French oak foundress, bottle conditioned with Brettanomyces yeast. I don't think there's anything else we need to discuss about this beer. So we'll go over to the food pairings and the glassware. The food pairings for this beer, the cheeses are the sharp blue cheddar and your more pungent cheeses like Gorgonzola and Limburger. And they even say your tangy cheeses, your Breck, Edam, and Feta go well with this. There's not a meat pairing with this, but it's going to go with your stronger dishes, being a 7% and being an IPA. So grilled meat and chicken and your stronger dishes go well with these IPAs. So glassware is a tulip gallop chalice oversized wine glass. I actually brought the pint glass for this instead of the Duvel glass. At 7%, I think this will do. I could have just as easily brought the Duvel glass, but we're going to pour it into pint glass. This is a big bottle, so I'm going to pour the other half for the other half and let her drink on it and sip on it for a while. The beer is not recommended for extended cellaring, but even though it's a 7%er, it's an IPA, so you don't want those hops to fade. And I have not noticed a dating on the beer bottle here. And it doesn't actually have a physical label. This label is silk screened on the bottle, like similar to what Stone does with theirs. Everything is a painted on or a silk screened label. There may be some kind of date code on here, and it's got a lot of condensation on it since it's right out of the fridge. So we'll double check it when we come back and see if there's any dating on it. Let's get the cage off of this one and get it into the glass. And usually when they do the cork, it means it's got a lot, especially being bottle fermented, it has a lot of pressure on it. And that's why they do the cage and the cork, just so it doesn't blow the cap off it or anything crazy like that. And I hope it doesn't go crazy when I take the cap off of it and spew all over the place. So we're going to find out here. So here it comes. See if we get a good pop on this one. Oh Lord, yeah. Big pop, like a champagne bottle. And that's another reason why they do that. With these big, thicker, heavier bottles, it's got the bigger necks on them, and the lip right here where they can wrap the cage around it, just to keep it from blowing the top off of it. Just had a beer mail package sent to me, and one of the bottles was laying down, and half the beer leaked out of it. It wasn't cracked or damaged, but the cap wasn't put on tight enough. So it was my loss, and the guy that shipped it to me was his loss because he spent money on it, and half of it leaked out. Which tells it was flat by the time it got here, and it may be even flat when he bought it. But not knowing, I mean, you cannot tell by looking at the beer whether it's flat or not if it's got the cap on it. I mean, you just assume it's got a good seal, which it did not. So enough of that. Let's get on with this one. We'll give it just a little bit of aggressive pour there just to generate a big head. And I can see why they call this a white IPA. It is a very light golden color. Wow, I'm getting the nose on it already. I can smell it already. Alright guys, with that aggressive pour, we got almost 2 fingers of head. And it is a very golden color, almost like a macro lager golden. Hence the name White IPA. It's a lighter colored IPA. Looks very good in the glass. A lot of bubbles streaming up. And like I said, it poured almost 2 fingers of head. Very white head. There are some bigger bubbles on it. Looks pretty creamy up on top though. Let's get a nose on this one. Don't have to get too close to smell it though. It's pretty strong aroma. Definitely tell the Brettanomyces yeast in there. I mean, it's got that saison funkiness or barnyard funkiness, if you will. But it does have a sweet smell in there. It's almost like I'm getting grapefruit and pine and tangerine and bubble gum and coriander. A lot of stuff going on with this beer. Oh, it smells so sweet in the glass. Galaxy hops are a very, very nice hop to brew with. I cannot get them here unless I order them over there in the 2 shops that I buy most of my home brewing stuff. They don't carry Galaxy hops. Wow, awesome smell on this, guys. It's got the funkiness, but it's got the sweet smell on it too. And 50 IBUs, which is rather low for an IPA. So I don't expect this to be very bitter at all. Happy New Year, everybody. Cheers, Lucas Liquor, for shipping beers out to the states that will allow you to ship them to them. One of my subs told me that he tried to get some shipped to him up in Maine, and evidently they can't ship to Maine. So there are a handful of states that will not allow them to ship beers to them. So they probably have ABV regulations as far as how big the beer is. If it's over a certain percentage, 5 or 6%, they won't let them ship to that state. So different states have different laws and regulations. So it is what it is. So if your state will allow them to ship it to you, you can order the stuff from Lucas Liquor down in Florida just like I did, and they'll box it up. You just have to sign for it because it's alcohol. It's marked as alcohol. So someone over 21 has to be there to sign for the beers. So that's the only drawback to it. So if you want some beers that are available to them and your state will allow them to ship it to you, by all means give them a call. You get to try some stuff that you can't get in your area. Happy New Year. I didn't say that already. Wow, it smells wonderful. Cheers. Oh yeah. Very nice, very light. The Brettanomyces yeast is definitely present there. It's got that funkiness to it. Surprising though, it does have a little bitterness to it. If I was guessing, I would say this is probably a 65 or a 70 IBU. Wow, such a tropical fruit note with mango and grapefruit and pineapple. coriander, cloves. Wow, a lot of stuff going on with this beer. Wow, it's very tasty too. Could we get 2 10s in a row? I don't know. Definitely a well-made beer. Definitely seems like an A beer to me, but it's right out of the fridge at 40 degrees. And this is a big bottle, so I'm going to go pour the other half of this bottle in a glass, and we're going to sip on it for a while, and I'll come back and do the final chug. But this is an awesome white IPA with Brettanomyces yeast on top of that. A nice Belgian kick to it, a white IPA. So stick around, I'll be right back, and we'll do the final chug and comments on this one. Happy New Year. Alright guys, I'm back, got just a little left here. Wow, this is a very tasty beer. I'm getting the Belgian yeast, the Brettanomyces yeast, oranges, grapefruit, pineapple, coriander. I'm not getting the kumquats that they use on it. I'm getting the peppercorns, maybe a little either orange peel or lemon peel in there. Very easy drinking for a 7%er. Not getting any alcohol whatsoever. I looked at the bottle. There is no dating on this, so I don't know how long it's been in the bottle. But at 7%, it's going to keep for a while. But just remember, it's an IPA, so the hop profile is going to fade over time. So you want to get these, pretty much as fresh as you can. So evidently, they don't date the big bottles, or they don't date their bottles at all. So that's the only downfall that I can give this beer. It's not having a date on it being an IPA. A wonderful aroma on this beer. Very complex with a lot of stuff going on with the oranges and the grapefruit and the pineapple and the yeast, and it's very delicious though. Got a very nice aroma, and I would almost classify this as a summertime beer too, being a white IPA. So very delicious though, even though it's first of the year here, 2014. I hope everything is going well for you in the new year, and you had a wonderful New Year's Eve. Guys, let's do the final chug. Wow, delicious. Delicious. Very tasty beer. I've not brewed with any Brettanomyces yeast because once you get that stuff in your brewing system, it's really hard to get rid of it. Kind of leery about purchasing any of that unless you have dedicated brew equipment and your own dedicated fermenter for that. Because once it gets in there, it's so hard to get it out. It contaminates anything that goes in there after it if you're not brewing with the Brettanomyces yeast. So, but I do like it. It's very nice. It's very different. Don't think I could drink this every day, but it is a very nice change. A very excellent white IPA brewed with Brettanomyces yeast, guys. So I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. It is that tasty. Even though I am a hop head, and it is hoppy. I mean, I am getting the hop presence in it, but it's not overwhelming like a lot of the American IPAs are. It's not that in your face hop, but it is there. I mean, it's definitely, Galaxy hops is a very nice hop. So I don't think I've ever brewed with any Galaxy hops because I cannot get it here unless I order it from somebody. And since I grow my own hops, I usually try to use most of that when I brew stuff. And plus, the Green Fridge has a boatload of hops that I have purchased over the last several years that I keep in there. And if I want to brew something different, I use those hops just to try to. I've been trying to use them up over the last 6-8 months just to get them out of the fridge because they're better fresh than they are something that's been set. But they are vacuum sealed up, and I don't think they're going to deteriorate too much being in the fridge in a cool climate like that. But I haven't been buying as much since I've been growing them myself and been trying to use a lot of the whole cone hops. And the only drawback to that those whole cones suck up so much. And when you're going from your boil kettle into your primary, you have to strain all that stuff out. Whereas if I use pellet hops, I usually don't strain it out. I just let it fall out, settle out in the fermenter. Whereas you gotta strain that stuff out when you're doing whole cone hops. I do anyway, so I don't want all them big masses down in there. And you know, I would think that the beer would probably end up a little cloudier than I'd like it to be. Once I go from primary to secondary, everything usually falls out, and the beer usually clears right up. It's not very cloudy, so especially in the IPAs and the pales and stuff that I normally brew. So, but this beer, like I said, it's a 9 out of 10, and I may even and go as far as to say I may even give it a 10 if it had a date on it. But I'm gonna give it to 9 today, guys. And if you've had this one, give me some comments back on this one. Let's go see what everybody else thinks about it. We'll go over to Beer Advocate first, and Beer Advocate is 90 in the outstanding range. Would not argue with that at all. I think that number, I would probably give it somewhere between a 90 and a 95 myself in a numeric rating. So I kind of agree with that figure they've got on it. And we'll go over to Rate Beer. Wow. Rate Beer says 99 overall and 99 in the style. So that's a 9 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned, guys. So I can't argue with those numbers either. So if you've had the Anchorage Brewing White IPA, give me some comments back on this one, whether you liked it or didn't like it. I did like it. So it's a very tasty beer, and it's an IPA, and I'm a hophead, so go figure. If you've had this one, give me some comments back on this one, guys. Hit that like button, rate, comment, subscribe, and let's go see what's in the Fresno Mall. Happy New Year. Happy 2014. See you tomorrow.